Hello everyone, it's Christopher Taylor with Sovereign Harmony out here in nature, enjoying a really nice day in northern San Diego County, California. Just wanted to jump in, update the week ahead. It's pretty quiet with the exception of something pretty big, and that's going to be the full moon that we'll talk about. But other than that, we're going to have like a week with nothing. So from about Wednesday this week, the 12th, till about the 19th, 20th of February next week, there's going to be almost nothing happening, at least mundanely. Doesn't mean your chart's not going to be active at all. But anyway, so today's Sunday. It is Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th, and we're just coming off of the superior conjunction between the Sun and Mercury. So this is when Mercury's moving its fastest, zipping by the Sun, and it's that culmination of when they met before, halfway through Mercury's most recent retrograde, which was in early December. So early December to now early February, it's kind of a transect of energy. So what was kind of initiated or contemplated back in early December, there's some sense of fruition moving it forward here in early to mid February. And so that in that instance, the Sun and Mercury, they've also formed a sextile to Chiron in Aries, okay? And then they're about to form a square, both Sun and Mercury, to Uranus and Taurus as part of the full moon this week, okay? And so we can look at that full moon in totality, and then the only other thing happening outside of that this week is an ongoing transit between Mars in Cancer, which is still retrograde, and Saturn in Pisces, and that trine between Saturn in Pisces and retrograde Mars in Cancer will come back to us in late March, early April. So it's kind of initiating now, finishing then, okay? And so that has a lot to do with, because we're both in water signs, kind of navigating our feelings, but also getting in line with our highest ideals, making sure our hearts are aligned with action in a way that is for kind of our not only our highest ideals, but in alignment with our hearts. So we're not just doing things out of duty, essentially. So that's a lot about from now until the end of March, early April, the next couple of months has that kind of background theme to it. But as far as the full moon is concerned, it's in Leo. Again, both the Sun and Mercury will be conjunct, and they will be squaring hard to Uranus in Taurus. And so generally speaking, Uranus in Taurus, it's disruption meets the Earth, right? And what did we see yesterday in the Caribbean? 7.6 magnitude earthquake. I would expect to see at least another large one over the next week. So by, like, say, Valentine's Day plus or minus, I would expect to see somewhere on the planet a 7.5 plus earthquake as well. This just tends to happen. Has a lot to do with the gravitational pull, the sun, the moon. When you got a planet like Uranus, which represents that disruption, we got the symbology of the Earth. Earthquakes tend to happen in those kind of situations. I was thinking about that last week, looking at this full moon, and then lo and behold, yesterday I see a post, and I'm like, oh, there it is. So you might have caught that if you're on Instagram or Facebook. I posted something about that yesterday. So didn't surprise me, even though Uranus is known for surprises, right? And that's the hardest thing you can do with surprises is try to predict them. So that's really the whole role of Uranus is unpredictability. So you think you can predict it, and then you can't. But that kind of came as no surprise to me whatsoever. In our personal lives, this is going to be some potential, at least surprises or disruptions going on, having to do with how we express ourselves. So this full moon in Leo is basically saying, God, I've got to show who I am. I've got to be seen for who I am. I've got to, be heralded for who I am. It's this real sense of wanting to be noticed, wanting to elevate to like our highest joy. Okay. And so in doing so, this may cause some disruptions. Okay. So Taurus has to do with kind of like normal routines and things like that. So there could be some disruptions to our routines, disruptions to our finances, potentially, as a result of just kind of this urge to express, okay? Yeah, urge to express isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we just gotta, be careful about, what that could disrupt in the process. Anyway, so that, again, it peaks on Wednesday morning, February 12th, and the energy is really with us already here on Sunday, and it's gonna be with us for the next week, okay? And that's why I mentioned the earthquake thing. Through next weekend, expect probably another one, right? But also in our personal lives, just expect to be, make room for unexpected things. Let's put it that way, so we can adjust and adapt to them. Anyway, that's really all I have this week. So, like I said, I'll be back next week for this. If you haven't seen my most recent February forecast, I mentioned this full moon in there. That's on my YouTube channel. So, thanks for stopping by. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.